All right, now pleased to be joined by none other than Northwestern head coach Chris Collins, fresh off the win against Purdue at home. And like when you look up right now, Chris, if I had told you when we talked in the preseason that you would be tied for second in the Big Ten, what would you have told me?
I would have probably signed the contract, whatever those stipulations were. I did feel we were going to be better than what others thought. I kind of knew what we had coming back. I knew the character in the locker room. I knew the guards. When you have good guards and they're seniors and they play well, it gives you a chance to be competitive. And I just really liked the vibe in the offseason. I didn't know what that was going to mean. We were very unproven on the front line. And a lot of guys who hadn't played, a kid like Brooks Barnheiser who hadn't really played, that were the big unknowns, but that I thought could be good. And then, it just has kind of all come to fruition. It's been a great group to coach. They have really bought into being elite defensively. I mean, that was kind of the first thing, was the player buy-in to like, hey, if we're going to be competitive, we're going to have to guard. And they've really bought into that side of the floor. And I've always felt like defense can unite a team, because to play good defense, it requires all five guys to be connected. If one guy isn't doing their job, you're going to get scored on, or you're going to get beat on a rotation. And, but I think watching the confidence grow throughout the season in these guys has been really fun, kind of as they've done well and won different games and kind of gone on the road and won in great venues, and kind of see them now like saying, hey, we can compete. That's been really fun to watch.
The coolest part of the win for me, being a father, knowing you for 20 years. Okay. Yeah. I've known you for 20, this, like right. We've known each other for a long time. Watching you with your son, who's a manager in the team, and both of you get choked up after that win, because again, he understands what this means to you, for the program. What was that like?
Oh, it was special. For me, that's how I grew up. My dad was a coach, and he was on, not in the college level, but the NBA level. So I grew up going to games and understanding, he's coaching Michael Jordan, so, the spotlight on that and the pressures that go along with that, and living and dying with every win, every loss. And I don't think people really understand, we all love sports, and it's easy to kind of say good things, bad things, but you don't understand, when it's a family, that's their lives, it's not just a hobby or something, so to go through ups and downs and to have a win like yesterday, and people storming the court, and first time ever beating, a number one team, and him being with us as a manager and kind of sharing that moment, man, to me, that's what it's all about. I mean, it's just the family aspect of it, and to share it with the people that have been with you through thick and thin, to me is the most special part of all of it.
I was there Selection Sunday when you guys got in years ago. In a way, it feels like yesterday, and in a way, it feels like an eternity ago. What would it mean to you to get back? I mean, you're in great position now. You obviously have to sustain the stretch drive, but what would it mean to you with everything you've been through the last 5 years and the pressure on you this year? There was no secret. I mean, there's pressure on everybody, but there was some pressure on you this year. We knew that. What would it mean to get back to the tournament?
Well, it would mean a lot, just for a lot of reasons. I mean, we did a great job initially, like building a group that got there, and it was historical, and for right or wrong, we weren't able to sustain it. We didn't follow it up the next year. And probably to me, that was my biggest regret, is the job I did with that team, because we had so many pieces coming back, and, not being able to stamp it with that, back-to-back appearances, and then being in a position where we kind of had to hit the reset button. I'm at a place where it's not a quick fix, like you have to get it right with high school recruiting, and you got to find guys that fit what we're doing and fit the academic requirements and fit what Northwestern is, and are also good enough to play against the Michigan States and Indianas and Purdue's and all those things. And so we were in a position where we kind of had to start fresh, and fortunately, the administration, we all kind of understood that. And we said like, hey, it probably is going to be a little bit of a step back, but we're going to bring in young guys and we're going to play them and hopefully kind of build something like we did with this first group. And that whole group of guys was Boo Buie, Chase Audige, Robbie Barron, Ty Berry, and then obviously guys that we know like Miller Kopp and Pete Nance and Ryan Young, and all those guys became good players. We played them as young players. They got better. We took our lumps. We certainly, and when you're young in this league, it's very hard. And we've gotten a little bit better each year. So to be able to kind of build it, have it kind of go down, and then for all intents and purposes, have to kind of start fresh and rebuild again, to be able to get back to that, moment would be a lot. And I would be so happy, not only for me and the staff and all that, but most importantly for the players, their loyalty to the program. And it's not easy in today's day and age, as to stick through tough times, and that's what this group of guys have. They've stayed loyal to the program. They've stayed loyal to each other. They've kept fighting. They've kept believing. And to see them now get rewarded for that, to me is really special.
We're going to have another party, selection. Am I invited?
You're invited, man. You're invited. You're invited.
Come on.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
It's crazy. I mean, that it was five years ago. What do you have to do down the stretch? You beat Purdue, and obviously it's like elation, right? Do you have to talk to this group, or are they old enough and mature enough to already understand, hey, you know what? We won a big one, but we cannot let the foot off the gas now.
Yeah, I think the thing that's good, I mean, not good, it's going to be really difficult, is if you look at our schedule, we pretty much play the top of the league the rest of the way. I mean, we beat Purdue, and guess what? We got Indiana on Wednesday. I mean, who's won 8 of 9, and outside of Zach Edey, have the most dominant player in the country. And Trace, so back to back, you're playing the 2 best players in the country. We got Iowa coming to town. We still have to go to Rutgers. We still have to go to Illinois. We got Maryland. I mean, so we're playing all teams that are going to be postseason teams. And so I think our guys are smart enough to realize, like, these teams are all really good. Like I already talked to them today. We got together. I said, guys, the message today would be the same as if Purdue beat us by 20 yesterday. It would be, hey, we got to move on. And we got to get on to the next thing. Yesterday was great. I wanted you to enjoy it. Your families were here, friends. It was awesome. Have fun. But starting today, like, we got to now get moving towards the Hoosiers. I just want them to take each game, really. I know it's a cliche. I don't want them hunting a certain number of games they got to win. You start doing that, you get yourself in trouble. Like, you got to take the next step in front of you. Like, really, I mean, it's as simple as that. You got to play the next game. And I've always told the guys, we'll get what we earn at the end. You play 20 conference games, you have your non-conference, you'll get what you earn when you play them all. And we got 6 left. We've done a really good job to this point, and had some really good wins. We've had some losses. And I think the biggest thing in the Big Ten is you're seeing everyone beats each other. So, the reality is you're probably going to lose some games along the way, but can you not have it be 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row? Those are the streaks that can kind of get you going in the wrong direction and can have you guys lose confidence.
All right. Last thing. How do you celebrate after a win like Purdue? Are you a beer, a wine guy? What are you celebrating with? You had to have drank something.
I'm not a wild man, but I will enjoy a nice red from time to time. So I went into the good section last night. That was certainly
the expensive one.
You always have kind of the section where maybe you want to wait for a good night to break it out. So had some family in town. Obviously, Super Bowl Sunday. It made it fun to go home and break open a nice bottle of red and then enjoy it with the family. And then, the way I'm kind of wired, man, I woke up this morning and I was already kind of like, all right, man, Indiana time. We gotta keep this thing moving. But it was a special day, no doubt about it. I mean, and to have the atmosphere in our building, that was something. I mean, it was very Cameron-esque, Allen Field. I mean, we kind of built our arena with that in mind. It's 7,000. It's the intimacy of everything. And now that the students have really bought into this team and they're showing up the way they are, the home court advantage has really helped us this year.
Well, I'll be in Chicago for Big Ten tournament, so I'm not far away on Selection Sunday. So
Awesome.
hopefully I'll see you on Sunday. Keep it going. Always good to see you. And like I said, the moment with your son, man, priceless, just absolutely priceless. Enjoy it. I know what it means to you and your son. And again, thanks for coming on After Dark.
I appreciate it.